the biggest problem, even before AI, that I was seeing was people weren't documenting their procedures.
Customers or the clients I'm working with, they are local business owners. They are not much comfortable to talk in front of a camera.
They're there because they have a problem, and that problem is an emotional problem.
Like feed AI more information. Like how much you will be feed to AI, they will understand better what you want as an output.
So you need to be talking about the emotion. You need to be addressing the objections that they have as a result of you talking about it.
Welcome to GrowPod, where we talk everything about sales, marketing, and business. Today, I have a very special guest with me. If you are especially in agency space, you will know him better. Join me to introduce the one and only Sterling Ansley. Andrew is a leading AI strategist and marketing consultant who has helped over 200 agencies leveraging AI automation and efficiency. And in this episode, we'll be talking about the future of AI in agencies and how to use them to make more revenue. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Ben.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for inviting me to speak.
And welcome to the pod. Uh, I have some really cool question for you about AI and agencies. And honestly, this is a trending topic, and people love to know about that. So, and I am sure people love to know more about from you because there are lots of. Personally, I'm a big fan of yours, and I was your school group as well. Um, so yeah, again, thanks to join for joining.
Of course.
Okay, we are starting with our first question. Very common question. So one of the main question is like, why do many agencies get stuck hiring their way into profits? So what do you think?
So like, why are they? Yeah, basically, why do they choose to hire more people,
Yeah.
and that's the way to growth? Yeah. I think it's honestly just tradition to a certain extent. People are used to it. And I'd say this is when it gets to be a little bit sticky because ultimately I do believe AI is a better solution for scaling. But if you already have the systems to hire and like a really good streamlined everything with like traditional hiring, it kind of makes more sense to do it that way. But I kind of think of it like when I was trying to teach myself basketball, and then all my buddies were they're actual basketball players, and they're like 6'4" to 6'9",
Yeah.
and they know what they're doing. I don't, but I developed a really ugly shot. Like I was literally, I remember playing street ball and with my buddy, and this guy came up. I didn't know this until we left, but this guy came up to my friend and said, "Your buddy is like the ugliest basketball player like form I've ever seen." And he's like, "Yeah, that makes sense. He's only been playing for a little while and he taught himself." But what ended up happening is it was hard for me to switch because I had developed, my skill set to a certain point where I might be capped at a certain point, but I developed like the shot and I was used to it and I was fairly proficient and I was really bad at switching it up and doing good form, even though good form, the most optimal thing would actually help me the most. So I think people are afraid of like doing a slight slowdown for growth. And I'd say that's probably the real root of a lot of problems is people are unwilling to slow down. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do strategically. And we're in this point with AI where everyone should be, if you're at a certain size, you should be slowing down, assessing how to make AI work for you. If you're not at that size, then I think people are probably already like, they didn't know how to hire. So they're already like, AI will be that for me. And now it's just about them trying to figure out how can it really be that employee.
Yeah, you're right. And also, agencies stack one more point, like they always stack in the lawyer profits. I mean, how they can increase their profit using the AI? Because in human, the cost is always the higher than in AI, right? So
Hmm.
how can you use that better?
So how can someone use AI to increase profit?
Yeah.
We'll use, I mean, there's a ton of different ways you could do that. I would say for most agencies, the problems are there's a lot of automation stuff where let's look at it this way because we all have different visions of AI. One is the completely autonomous Iron Man sort of Jarvis sort of thing where it's like your secretary and assistant and friend. Like we'll
Mm-hmm.
get there. We're not there right now. So I'd say AI is kind of like this glue. It's at this point where it can just solve, I think of stem cells, which just like fit into anything. That's why they're so valuable. And that's what AI is. And you can ultimately develop something without AI that does all the same things that AI does. But it's just so much quicker now with AI. So what I'm thinking is the best thing to do is use AI as the glue that just kind of you use an existing system. Like I'm using N8N a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I can self-host it. It's a scalable version of Zapier, and I talk about that in the school group too. But uh, you use that, you connect your various tools, and ultimately, what you want to do as an agency, the first step I think is client onboarding, and then
Yeah.
just sort of getting things ready. Where what I find to be the most valuable thing is getting results to clients as fast as possible, communicating often and communicating well. So if you can communicate better and then you can deliver things faster, then that's typically going to automatically increase retention. It will increase the likelihood that you get good reviews, and that sort of cascades. I'd say that's probably your number one focus for actually money impact. There's a whole bunch of other things like it can transform different deliverables you offer. It can now allow you to uh, tackle three marketing channels for yourself instead of just one. Because I think the traditional advice, if like you're talking about Gary Vee, who I mean he's kind of the visionary for a lot of digital marketing.
Yeah.
He's always ahead of the curve, and his advice was you should focus on one thing. I don't think you need to do that anymore because AI allows you to scale. You shouldn't overextend, but it allows you to do a lot more. Where
Yeah.
now I can focus on multiple platforms. So I'd say those are the two things that I focus on the most.
Okay. And how do you identify the right process? I mean, which one should be used to, make faster or work faster with AI? So how do you find the right process? If I'm saying that question right.
Yeah, I would say mm, generally the right process is always going to be, like I said earlier, it's the transforming your deliverable process.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it. So
Yeah.
I'd say this. All right, here's how I do it. I identify the things that have the highest manual workload. So you need to be tracking what your team is doing and how long they spend doing those things. Then it's about the lowest creativity required for those things. So to a certain extent, like some things with creativity, you can still do with AI, but typically I want high manual workload, low creativity, and then greatest impact on revenue. Because sometimes those two other things don't actually have much of an impact on revenue or client satisfaction. So basically, if you focus on that, you're going to immediately enable yourself to automate things that translate into money.
Yeah. So that's a great answer actually. For I want to ask a question, something related to myself right now. As an agency founder, I have
Mhm.
to spend my time on different thing on an agency, different part of the agency. So how AI helping you on that part? Like, I have to focus on sales first? So how I can only focus on sales and not focusing on any other part? How AI is helping on that part?
So how is AI helping you as an agency owner to focus on more than just sales?
Yeah,
Or like sales is
only the
is an
sales,
example.
only the sales. Yeah, so that I don't, get distracted on everything. And it saves a lot of time and I can have some free time for myself as well.
Yeah. So uh, you might be I might be misunderstanding, but just correct me if I am.
Mhm.
I would say first off, I don't want to. I wouldn't recommend that anyone tries to multitask too much. Like I think AI is like your laser,
Yeah,
where now it's allowing you to just like, all right, quickly just go right into the
yeah,
thing that
yeah.
you're trying to optimize, get in, get out. And that's
Mhm.
the goal is like get in, get out, get in, get out. So with sales, for instance, all right, I'd say that I'm so glad AI is here for many reasons, but ultimately, the biggest problem, even before AI, that I was seeing was people weren't documenting their procedures. So their SOPs were severely lacking. So
Mhm.
like there's a guy that I'm about to work with right now, and it's like a five-figure project just for creating SOPs.
Mhm.
And because it's like 10 different SOPs. When
Okay.
you have those SOPs, those have become probably the most valuable thing you can have. So if you can SOP whatever it is you want to work on first, get in there, figure out the SOP, buy a course. If you don't have an SOP, figure out like what it is you want to do. Give yourself a time limit because
Mhm.
ultimately, can you spend a month on this problem? There's only if we're cutting the year in like sections,
Mhm.
that's okay. Can I spend 20% of the year to fix this problem? I try to think about things in that way of like, is
Yeah.
that worth it? It kind of helps me. I think a lot of people go, well, with AI, I can do like crazy, magnificent, insane things. Yes, you can, but you should still probably narrow it down, iterate. Don't try to go for the super fancy stuff. So with sales, it's about, all right, I need to make sure that I have things tracked properly. Do I need AI for that, or is that just like a CRM? Understand how much money you want to spend on that. So, I'm always looking for a free solution. So, for instance, for CRMs, there's a free solution called Base Row. All right, great. So, let's use Base Row. And now I want to connect Base Row to a bunch of different things. So, where are my sales channels? Okay, email, my website, and then funnel pages, my social media, and whatever else. So, my goal is connect everything, and then I'd say the number one issue with sales is people don't follow up.
Mhm.
It's actually kind of easy to get someone somewhat interested to raise their hand and to say, yeah, this seems cool. But then you don't have any sort of system, no plan of attack. So I'd say with with sales, this is when it kind of you could get AI to get you pretty far, but ultimately you need to be able to understand marketing and business because you need to be able to deconstruct a topic and then point AI at each piece of that topic. So I'd say that's what I would recommend. Whatever's highest impact too. So it's going to be sales is highest impact. Your marketing is going to be highest impact, and then operations and communications. So you can choose whichever one you want based on whatever you're experiencing the most pain in. But that's what I would do.
Got it. Got it. Yep. Hmm. So there's a very interesting question. We see these days a very cool trending about AI agent, and
Mhm.
everyone is obviously talking about it. So you have any suggestion, anything information about how to create an AI agent for an agency easily for a beginner mostly, like who doesn't know most about the coding or any stuff, or have some basic knowledge about AI?
Yeah. I guess it depends on how you define an agent. I know like Salesforce is creating 1,000 something agents or something, but the an agent is like a fully autonomous agent. I would not start with that, and that's also I don't even think there's a SaaS out there that has a offering of a fully autonomous agent that's really good. Maybe Devin is probably the closest thing to that. Devin, for those that don't know, is a $500 subscription that you operate at a Slack that is basically replacing a developer and at least a junior developer. So from what I can see, it's pretty good. It's definitely worth $500 when you consider how much money you're spending for a junior dev. But I would start with something that's really, really menial. So let's do emails. I get a lot of emails. So for creating an agent,
Mhm.
let's focus on just what I want the agent to do. The With emails, I want it to have a really intelligent way of classifying my emails and then giving me sort of like a rundown at the beginning of the day, end of the day, and at the end of the week. So, and maybe at the beginning of the week. So I kind of get this somewhat secretary type thing because it helps me with my focus. I'd say a lot of
Yeah.
people have the skills and the intelligence to execute things, but they don't have the focus and consistency. So I try to focus on things that are going to help with that. So, all right, uh,
Yeah.
use
And
N8N or
so
Zapier, and
if
that's
we
those are the two things to start with, and then you're just prompting and then feeding it data.
Got it. Thank you for was actually saying like for the same process, if we had to hire someone to check our email and follow up email, we have to hire people first, right? But right now AI is actually making this easy. So personally for myself, uh, if I create something AI agent, it will be something, give me some brainstorming ideas, like how to create more offers, how to create, a time doing research the ICP, for example, how to
Hmm.
create a social post in a single click, this kind of thing. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So coming down to offer creation, this is another point I think people would love to know. So what is your take on how to create a good offer using AI?
Yeah, I would say the number one thing you're going to need is, I think SEOs struggle with this most. I think
Yeah,
other
true.
marketers know this
Mm-hmm.
because uh, I think it's just part of like copywriting 101.
Yeah.
But it's ICP, so your ideal customer profile. If you can create a good ideal customer profile, and when I was just getting started in SEO, I thought this was just a bunch of garbage. Like I was like, surely this doesn't matter. What I just didn't see it. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm sure if anyone's listening to this, they might be in the same boat. I was in that boat where I was like, I didn't see it,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, because I think I was too caught on the fact that like I'm just targeting traffic. Whatever has traffic is what I'm targeting,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that's the way. Especially with like AI and search being transformed, even with SEO, it's not the way anymore. But especially with social media, landing pages, ads, email copy, all that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
if you understand what motivates the person you're talking to, what are their fears, what what do they dream about, what are the messages that they've probably already heard,
Mm-hmm.
what are the objections that they have, all of these sorts of things are oh, do you allow screen sharing? I'm happy to share what the
Yeah,
ICP
for sure,
looks
for
like.
sure.
Yeah, let me share an example in the SEO space for a client that I was working with or still working with. So here's an easy formula for people. Start with one to three sentences. What do you do? I'm an SEO agency that creates and scales predictable SEO revenue for e-commerce brands. I help them turn search engines into cash. Okay, I just wrote that. I didn't get AI to write it, but that's all you need. Next, here is my ICP. Start with about three sentences. So 1 million to 250 million revenue, e-commerce companies looking to grow with SEO. Statement 1, industry, e-commerce, manufacturing. Statement 2, demographics, typically 30 to 65, somewhat marketing savvy business owner, founder, and executive. That's all you need to get started. After that, I input my framework. So my framework is before us, this is what they're experiencing. After us, this is what they'll be experiencing. When this. So when they notice competitors consistently outranking them for valuable keywords, when their PPC costs keep increasing with diminishing returns, or when they realize they're missing a major growth channel despite having great products. So the when this is basically saying when this happens, this is when they're looking for
Mm-hmm.
solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Before us, after us, and then you're wanting to list your goals, secondary goals. What do they dream about, which is typically more personal? What are the promises that you are making to them? What is the primary complaint and secondary complaint? What are the negative statistics associated that you can reference? What are the objections they have? What are the bad habits that lead to the problem in the first place? With these bad habits, what are the consequences of not addressing it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
this is very good ICP.
creating an enemy here, your ultimate fears. So there's all sorts of stuff here. But ultimately, when you create this, it allows you to get really, really targeted so that you
Mm-hmm.
can really address the things that matter. Where even if you didn't have an ad framework, like a good copywriting framework, just having that alone, it's remarkable how much better your landing pages and your ads will get. Too many people are stuck talking about features and what they do. Like I offer technical SEO, and I'll optimize all your pages and do meta descriptions and title optimization, and we use NLP, blah blah blah, and they talk about that in their sales calls. They talk about that on their landing pages, and who the hell cares? Uh, they're there because they have a problem, and that problem is an emotional problem.
True.
So you need to be talking about the emotion. You need to be addressing the objections that they have as a result of you talking about it. So if you're going to say, I solve these problems, here's why you can believe me, because this person said so. Then you make another claim. Okay, how can you support that claim? Look, I'm featured by HubSpot, and I'm featured here, here, and here. Great. So every claim I make, ideally, if I've already mapped out their objections, I'll know exactly what claims I need to be making, and I'll know how to support those claims. So that is the ICP creation. That is like the foundation of marketing.
Yeah. Oh wow. That is great, man. And people love to hear more about that. Uh, anyways, one more question. Related to the AI ad, as you already mentioned, uh, I've been seeing so many tools recently which are creating lots of AI creative ads in terms of videos ads, and those are working really good. So you know any tools, or you can recommend any tools or the software like that that can create good ads and do all of the copywriting for himself?
So good tools like AI tools to create ads.
Yeah,
Um, the ad copy or the images,
mainly the ad creatives.
the creatives.
Hmm.
I'm still searching. From what I can tell, there's a tool called Icon that seems to to be pretty good. I haven't tested it myself yet, but Icon, and then I've seen a couple other ones. I don't remember their names, but what I've been working on, my goal for probably 2026. So 2025, my goal is focus more on like school and then creating like uh, really getting all of my AI systems down. And then in 2026, I want to launch some sort of like AI creative type
And
offering.
this is very trendy thing. That's what I'm going to discuss with you. I mean, I see many people are trying this, creating a product that can create a good ad creatives, ad offers, because it will solve so many issues. I mean, many people
So
are
many. Creative
yeah,
alone, like the copy is one, you can do copy in ChatGPT.
yeah.
Ultimately, you don't need a
Mm,
tool.
mm.
But man, the
Creative
creative
design.
piece, it's hard. Not everyone
Yeah.
has an eye for it too. Of like, it's a little bit difficult. So yeah, I'd say Midjourney. The thing I've done research, and if you
Mm,
want to do it manually, Midjourney, Kling,
mm,
Runway ML, and then VO, I think,
mhm.
and then Adobe products to tie it all together. Some
Yeah.
sort of mix of that, I think, is probably going to be, if you get good at those tools, that'll be
And
what you
already,
use.
the drop shipping, people who are doing drop shipping or e-com industry, I think they are already started using this. I mean, using some clips from TikTok, randomly posting using their products, but these are not actually real people. But and I saw watch a YouTube video, it worked really great for them. I mean, they got revenue around 1.2 million or something from that ad campaign. It was 10 or 15 ads using AI. So that was very fascinating to see, and I guess it will be slowly coming into our industry as well. I'm working in a local industry. I mean the local service based ad, because I'm the customers or the clients I'm working with. They're local business owner. They are not much comfortable to talk front of a camera,
Hmm.
right? So it will be very captivating to using something like that. I mean using their face, but they are not the same person. It's an AI and selling their services. I think this is a very good product for the future. And
Yeah.
yep, as I saying, like selling something using AI, many agencies also upselling AI automations. I mean, maybe a product with GHL or something. So can you give us some ideas like what kind of product could be sell as an agency using AI?
So I mean, you could sell any product with AI, whatever you're selling now, just bring AI into it. But if you're talking about selling AI itself as the product, you could sell. So you can give modified versions of stuff. So hey, we offer copywriting. We have a copywriter where you can either get full sort of traditional copywriting services, or there's the AI modified one, which will reduce the cost by 30%. Okay. Like, great. So offer, that's one thing. It's an easy sort of solution. It gives people the option. Same with creatives. We could do AI creative, which can
Mm-hmm.
speed it up and reduce the
Mm-hmm.
cost, but it's going to be a little worse. Like ultimately human experts are going to still be better. Then there's AI voice agents. So for taking phone calls. So someone calls the business. I'd say this is actually the biggest leakage with local is typically what's crazy is people hire people that are not that skilled all of the time because they think front desk is
Mm-hmm.
just like, whatever, it's front desk. It's shocking. The front desk is like the biggest opportunity for a business to scale because it's how people are experiencing your business. If people
Mm-hmm.
call in and that's the first person they talk to, if that person's in charge of follow up and organization, that whole process, selling that like AI, dependable AI solutions, because I guarantee you every business is tired. They're somewhat aware. Some of them are unaware, but a lot are pretty aware of that's an issue and they don't know how to solve it because they're having trouble hiring, finding a good person, solve that front of house thing with AI, make it dependable. That's going to be a huge one. Go high level can do some of that, but yeah, that's my number one thing that you should probably be selling. Then there's like systems. You can just sell actual systems instead of the hey, if you want us to implement those systems, then you can contract us. Otherwise, we'll just sell you the system and I'll give you the guidance on like here's how to execute it with AI. And ultimately, that's what the school group's about, is like that. And some people still reach out and they want me to do the work, but I'd say that's a big one for agencies. Start productizing some of the existing things you're doing, sell it as systems, incorporate AI elements into it, and then figure out a way to upsell where if people want to do more than just like execute themselves, then they have an expert.
Yeah, and one thing many people complain about it, and I think it's still a, you know, people don't know about AI yet more, but yeah, it's a valid complaint to do. I mean, many people still complain about um the quality. You know, when you are doing something high touch services, is it can be really possible with AI without compromising any quality, and can we provide a high quality product using the AI or service?
It depends on the service, I guess. So give me an example service that
Uh,
you want me to
For
use.
example, high quality content, one thing, very good example because people still are, talking about with AI, the content is not high quality and human touch is what you need. But I think it's quite debatable question.
So yeah, I definitely think so. I just did this test and posted it on SEO Signals Lab,
Mm-hmm.
which for people that don't know, it's like a huge SEO group. That's how I started my career is basically through that group. But I did a test. What I wanted to see is, all right, I want to create good content. This content, so I find video scripts to actually
Mm-hmm.
be the hardest thing for AI to do a good job at. So I wanted to test it on video
Yes,
scripts because if it can do video scripts, it can do blogs, it can do anything.
obviously, obviously.
So here is the once again, this is for an agency I'm working with to try to get them more leads. So I'm creating scripts. So I wanted to test out 4.5, which is like part of the $200 subscription of ChatGPT. So I'll only read a little bit of it just so you can get a vibe. Hey, quick reality check. You've got great products, killer brand, smart team. So, why are inferior competitors still stealing your traffic and outranking you on Google? I'll tell you why. Because paid ads feel easy until they start eating your profits for breakfast. Because someone told you SEO is slow, or SEO is dead, or that mystical algorithm gods control your fate. Now, here's the truth. So, 4.5, as you can see, that sounds human to me. That doesn't read like AI. But let me show you like the brand new version of Claude at its highest. Hey there, fellow e-commerce warrior. Question for you. How's that paid advertising working out? Still getting the same bang for your ever increasing buck? That's it's not terrible, but that still to me is more AI. Like that's it I can tell the difference here.
Yeah.
This isn't how people talk. while the other one is. And then there's other things where like I can go through all of them. I've tested all these models with it. The point is to just say though, your question was, can you use AI creating something, we're saying
With
output
high
of
quality at the
content
same
without
time.
diminishing quality?
Yeah,
Yes. You just need to know how to do it.
true. And the ad quality you are showing is really high quality. Even the CTS here is quite good. And I think for an ad copy, this what offer works like a magic if your CTS is good.
Hmm. That's exactly it. I recommend that everyone, this is already important, but the number one thing I recommend for people to do is you need to be in a community. Be There's three things really. You need to be reading. It's more important than ever to be reading the things from the greats. So we're talking like Hermosi, Dan Kennedy, copywriters, Russell Brunson. Read things from people that are really, really intelligent with sales, psychology, marketing, funnels, offer creation, email writing. When you have that, you're basically just speeding up where you should be documenting everything. And I do this. I put it in a Google Doc and I have emails, and it's just
Mhm.
a bunch of inspiration. Everyone should be keeping inspiration. Every ad you see, you should be saving. Save that if you like it. If you like that ad, okay, grab the copy. Do you like the video script that they have? Great. Copy the link, put it through a free. There's free tools to then transcribe that Facebook link. I do that with everything, so I recommend everyone start doing that more because then it's actually pretty easy to then get AI to create systems to approximate something that sounds like that for your own niche. Really powerful. So be better collectors, be better researchers, be more well read, and then you will be rewarded.
Yeah, and I heard something very similar like this. Someone said in a post maybe like feed AI more information. Like how much you will be feed to AI, they will understand better what you are output, you what you want as an output, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, this is true. For the same thing, if I'm doing the computer research, we're doing the same thing. We are just giving information like what our competitors is in SEO, by the way, like how we want our blog to be. And final outcome was always good if I'm providing information to him. Because the same thing, if I trying to train a human writer, I have to give him an information. He will take a day or two, not neglecting anyone. But yeah, it take time as a human. We are a human brain after all. But AI does this very quickly, and the final output is very good too, right?
Yeah, it's really, really good. I, I mean, I think we're at a phase where for most people, unless you get really good at I would probably just keep using AI as like an 80% scaffolding tool where it gets you pretty far down the road, and now your job as a human is to edit and just bring a little bit more to the table. And if you do that, it's much easier to immediately hit the ground running with AI. I love doing that even with like creating automations with N8N. You can literally prompt your way to creating sort of a map, paste that into the tool, and now you've got something at least to work from that isn't a blank slate. That's the hardest part. If you've ever been a writer,
Yeah.
then you know like starting from scratch is difficult, but having something,
Mm-hmm.
it's much easier to jump off of something, and AI is perfect
So true.
to kind of help with that.
So true. So true. Yeah. Yeah. So my next question will be kind of a tricky question. So if I'm as an agency owner, if I could only implement only one AI workflow tomorrow, that will immediately increase my profit. So what it should be and why?
Probably, I'm going to say the entire because it's easy, it's fastest to do and provides the greatest uh, quality of life improvement is probably the onboarding process. So what I mean by that is uh, making sure that there's reminder emails and setting up like the project and ClickUp and making sure that the all of the permissions are, I have access to Search Console, I have access to analytics, I have access to everything I need, having a check system to then like, okay, remind the client, setting up the invoicing thing if that's a part of it as well, everything with that process, because then it's all about just doing the work. And there's nothing else to worry about. You have everything, the files for any of the meetings, the folders are created. Everything is organized. Everything is set up. That I think is probably the best. Is start there. You're gonna absolutely love how you feel. It reduces so much headache.
Yeah, got it. And one thing more. So again, this currently there is a tradition or there is a trending of AI adoption or AI using AI on everything. So what is the costliest mistake you have seen when agencies rush into this AI adoption?
Probably overly complex AI
Mhm.
stuff. So when I said that get to 80%, that's because so often people are like, yes, something is possible, but it's not necessary. You need to take bite-sized chunks out of it and then move on. So that's probably it. You end up losing months. And I did this when I was trying to create how many months? I lost a full month to creating an AI secretary admin type thing.
Mhm.
And I was trying to make it like the most advanced thing in the world. And I know I can, but ultimately my time, I can't spend my time that way yet. It's just not there. So instead, I should have bit off a smaller chunk, done what I talked about earlier, where it's like, well, maybe I can just, instead of it being this autonomous, increasingly intelligent thing that learns from my responses and stuff, and then connects to 7 tools, maybe just connects to 2 or 3 tools, doesn't have this autonomous learning element, and it's just good enough. I'd
Mhm.
say that's probably what you need to do. It also gets insanely expensive when you're trying to hire somebody to do this if you're not going to do it yourself.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, avoid overly complicating things. Just automate little chunks because ultimately, I think scaling a business is about really consistent incremental steps forward.
Got it. Yeah. So another question, like, where do you see this AI trading will go? I mean, in future, 2025 is another important year for AI. We are seeing a lot of changes right now. In the first month, we see the DeepSeek, right?
Mhm.
So many kind of changes and AI is happening right now. So do you think agencies who are not using AI will not survive in the end of this year, or they should use AI?
Yeah, like what'll happen? I don't think they'll survive. If you don't already have a hiring system that is proven and a sales system that's proven, or like a really good consistent marketing system that's proven. So basically, without those 3 things, you could still scale an agency to like $250,000 of revenue for yourself. I'd say that's very feasible.
Mm-hmm.
Those people, if that's you and you're
Mm-hmm.
not using AI, you are at risk the most.
True. Yeah.
So that's probably number one. Next is if you've gotten past that and you have either the marketing system, sales system, some sort of system, whether it's all 3 or just 1 or 2, you're definitely going to survive past 2025. There's still and it depends on the industry because some industries, like I have a buddy who he has like almost no online presence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally meeting with him after this meeting, and even without that, he does such good work. Now he can't scale, but he doesn't care. He's fine with making, $120,000 for the until he retires. Great. Those people I think are fine too because he gets referrals just enough to keep that treadmill of 120,000. That person's fine too. But if you're trying to grow,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're gonna need AI. I don't think you can really grow now yeah, it's going to be difficult. I think you'll just run into more hurdles. But I won't say that I'm not going to fear monger and say that you're going to die. Like it's going to take a while. but
Personally, I think
we'll
one
see.
thing is more like not currently, but after 10 years, AI will be much more important than now. Why? For my simple observation, people still used to, for example, for a search or for the local business, anything, people will still search on Google.
Yeah.
I mean, the Google um, already competing with AI, but still Google taking the top percentage or most of the percentage, right? But after 10 years, like we people, we know about the AI. So we'll be searching more on the AI, right? For the ChatGPT, anything for personal use, maybe the last 1.5 years, I use ChatGPT more than Google for any questions, right?
Yep.
So can you, do you feel the same? Like this will be a trending in the future after 5 to 10 years?
Oh yeah. I think that don't even rely on my brain for this. Just look at history
Yeah.
of it's about the generations. And
Mhm.
every generation, they always are put into different buying brackets and different economical sectors, basically, of like, all right, so people who are 21 to 35, they occupy a certain area, or really I'd say 21 to 30, they occupy a certain like workforce. Once you
Mhm.
hit like 30, that's when you're in like the director of marketing range. Typically, now everyone can they have different journeys, but I'm just creating observations based on averages. So you also have a certain amount of money in those ranges. I
Mhm.
think once those people, the people that are 12 now, like 12 to 18,
Yeah.
that when those people move forward to the next thing, so 10 years, those people are probably barely using Google. I don't use Google at all anymore. I just don't. And I'm all on ChatGPT. I use the deep research if I need to research something. I use the operator if I need to do something else where like I'm going on Airbnb and trying to find something. I'm using AI for everything now. But I'm also like such a small sliver, and I've made my whole business around AI.
Mhm.
I think 12-year-olds are basically going to be just as good as I am. It's just a matter of they need to get out of high school, out of college, and as soon as they are, dude,
Yeah.
the industry is changing entirely. So that it's all about the generations.
Exactly. Even we know about AI, or starting learning about, for me, from 2022. But a kid, we 2000 in 2023, I mean 2030, a kid will be know much more than of AI than me, right? Because there will be advanced courses, people all over the school, colleges will learn them AI, how to use AI, because this will be the trend. Yeah, this is true. Um, it was so good conversation yet. So I want to ask you about the final thing about your school group. I mean,
Sure.
I was a member of it. Currently, I'm also a member of it. I just got out for a month, but I'll be joining it today again. So I know how fantastic it is and how amazing it is what you shared there. So if you like to share anything about your school group, I know many people will be interested to join from here.
Yeah, for sure. So I've intentionally kept it low enough where the people overseas can afford it. I think that
Mhm.
too many groups are like $99 and higher.
That's why I actually joined at the first, and it
Yeah,
was true.
and people tell me all the time, like I have countless reviews, and people message me, and I have people that like friends are like, you should be charging more. I'm like, I know I can, but ultimately the goal isn't to just make money. I want to make just enough where it motivates me, but
Mhm.
I ultimately am trying to get as many people as possible where I truly want to help people. I do.
Mhm.
I love teaching. I was going to be a teacher, and I transitioned. So and then went into business. But if I could just teach full time and help others, like grow, that
Mhm.
sounds so fun. So my school group is ultimately about turning AI into profit. So it's about
Yeah.
scaling your agency or consultancy, basically online business, and we're doing this through really foundational sort of here's how to get prompts that will absolutely transform everything you're doing, where you don't even need tools. Like ultimately you could probably do everything that I'm recommending for maybe $200 a month extra. You could probably do everything and
Mhm.
have a really good successful marketing thing. So your social media, how to scale your social media, how to automate the things that suck, how to prompt better, how to code, how to, do any of these sorts of things. So that's what the school group is about. We go through all of this. I create courses all the time, new modules, and we've got about 230 people in there right now. and the goal is to get it to 1,000, but it's $30 right now. So all the highest I think I'll ever make it is probably $40. Um, but for now it's 30. I'm debating. Maybe you can tell me. I'm debating like giving people free Go high level, and then just charging like $10 extra or something. But yeah, I don't know.
I
That's what
think
it's about. Hopefully, it
currently
helps
what you
people.
are charging is good because if you just add more people, it could be something different. But if it's work for you in a certain model, I think this is good. And everyone who is watching and to the end or to this video, I'll be adding a school group of his in our caption or maybe in the comment so that you can join. And I would highly recommend to anyone to join to this group. It is so amazing and everyone who doesn't know about school, you should better know. School is something.
Mm.
There are many amazing groups in schools. I'm also two, three groups maybe, including one is Andrews, one is copywriting, and something about related to the ads. So you will know much better if you invest something there. And yeah, uh,
Yeah, school's amazing. It's such a great place to learn
cool.
right now.
Even we know now GHL also open a new community to compete with the school. If you know that.
Yeah, it'll probably grow. At this point, I don't recommend
Yeah,
that
this
course
is not
creators
growing, it's
swap,
still
but
in growing phase. Because GHL already built a Sovi community. So if they are creating anything, there is always a hype.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
true. I Go high level is just eating everybody's lunch, man. They've grown like crazy.
Crazy. And even I saw a post maybe 2, 3 days ago in Facebook. They send something 500 or 50 million something to the affiliate program. I mean, people promote their product as that much that they have to, pay $50 million as an affiliate. So you know how big it is right now. So it's kind
You,
of a giant, because they are kind of one of the fast tool maybe that you make this AI thing so easy to upsell. And
yeah,
agencies like selling like crazy who don't know about AI. And even every agencies I'm seeing right now, they're upselling chatbots or calling agents as much higher as possible.
yeah, it's insane. I think the thing that's like really hard for people like us to believe, even if
Mhm.
we're told this, but I want people,
Yeah.
if they're still listening, to understand this. If you are here, it means that AI is probably on your radar. You're using it a lot. You're in the 1%.
Mhm.
99% of like the people that you're going to be working with, they're not using AI, and it's still distant. There's so much opportunity. We are still at the beginning, and
Yeah.
don't think that it's too late. It is not too late. This is still a
Yes,
great
that's
time. I'd
very
say like
good
the next
advice.
2 years are great times to get started in this.
Yeah, and that's a very good advice. People already started thinking that they are already left out, but it's not. I mean, AI is still on a developing phase, if I'm not wrong. We can still make it better for everything. I mean, one thing that does better, I think the only thing I can say is the content one. And what you show right to me, like ad copywriting phase, this is also in developing phase. What you produce is a very good result. I don't see many tools can produce that kind of result, right? So, and we talked about the AI creatives. There are so many things we can still do with AI, and if we can still use AI wisely, in personally, it will increase one skill for us, but it will be huge beneficial for you in the future as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
So,
totally agree.
it was great to talk with you about AI, and I think people loved it. And thank you once again for joining me in this pod. And we had a great conversation.
Yeah, I loved it. It was fun.